We're live.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Are we live now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right.
About 30 seconds. Did you guys get any rest?
Yeah. If 4 or 5 hours is considered rest. Yeah. No, I'm just looking around the room at the various pictures. I know I've been on a number of times. I want to try to find my pictures.
There's some out there too.
Yeah, I give Miss Blackwell a hard time. The very first show I had was my birthday last year. And so it was like, hey, happy birthday, right?
Yeah.
On the Jennifer Blackwell show. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we get that for a time or two.
Yeah.
And we still have more that we need to put up.
Good
More
stuff.
pictures.
My daughter's birthday is today.
Ooh, we'll wish her a happy birthday. What's her name?
Fiona.
Okay. And we'll let you do that.
Okay.
So cool.
Morning, Vicky. It's Eric's daughter's birthday today.
I heard that. How old is she? 6? 8? Oh,
Yeah.
we had another 8-year-old. Little Jacob turned 8 this week too. Oh, okay.
Opinions expressed herein are not necessarily those of station management. Feel free to
We'll
give
do
Jennifer
another-
and
we'll do
Teresa
another
a call
test
at
later today before tomorrow
782-4321.
comes.
Yes.
And now, today in Yuma.
All right, here we go.
Welcome to Today in Yuma. I'm Jennifer Blackwell.
And I'm Teresa Straub.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning on Z93 and Outlaw Country.
Yes, that's if you're listening on the radio, but you can always watch us on the Sunset Health Facebook Live feed. That is a fun way to interact with the show. If you have any questions or comments for our guests, you can post them right there on our feed.
Sure can. Today coming up on the show here in just a moment, we have Eric Patton and we have Bo Gonzalez, Henry Gonzalez, you may know him as that also, with the Yuma Union High School District. Then we have Scott Little coming in shortly thereafter to discuss the Fostering Hope Conference. And Eric Wofford will kind of round out the hour, and he'll be talking about the Fall Fest at Yuma County Fairgrounds.
Sounds good.
Tis that time.
It is.
Well, we're going to kick things off here first with some birthdays because
Yes.
we have our birthday in the house, basically.
yes.
These are the Firehouse Subs birthday shout outs, and we do want to remind you when you buy more subs, you save more lives, and they have catering available too. So
They do.
don't forget to give them a heads up if you have an event coming up. You need to grab lunch for your staff or any kind of celebration, or just because it's a Thursday and you need a break. Firehouse Subs.
Exactly.
Well, joining us now, we have Eric Patton, who has a birthday in the family.
I do. My daughter turned 8 today.
Oh my goodness.
9/19. She was born at 9/19.
Oh, really?
So,
She's got about
yep. She's
Couple
17
minutes.
minutes.
there. Yeah, might still be on air with us.
Yeah, exactly,
Her
exactly.
official birthday.
What is her name?
Fiona.
Happy birthday, Fiona.
Yes, happy
Oh.
birthday.
We also have Olivia Peterson celebrating today.
One of our most favorite humans in the entire world, Alyssa O'Donnell. We want to wish you a very happy birthday today.
And I've decided, Teresa, you need to get to work on the Christmas party.
Oh.
Alyssa's invited
Oh,
this year.
she is
Yes.
definitely invited.
Also celebrating Joe Romero,
Casey Gilly, one of my Yuma Bike Life peeps.
Chucky Romero,
Michael Samaniago, he's over at Moose Creamery. Happy birthday.
Isabel Garcia.
Alicia Orta.
That's all I have.
That's all I got.
All right, get those birthdays in, and on Mondays we'll do a drawing from the local birthdays from the previous week. One person wins a free medium sub chips, drink, and dessert courtesy at Firehouse Subs.
That's right. We encourage you to get those shout outs in. There's multiple ways. One of the easiest ways is by going to monstermediayuma.com. Click on that Today in Yuma tab. Look for the Firehouse Cupcake. Fill that little entry form out, and it goes directly to our inbox.
All right, joining us now, we're going to be talking about Yuma Union High School District stuff.
Yes.
We have had a very, very busy few weeks in the Yuma community, and first off, our hats go out to those working in education, law enforcement, parents, children, everyone. So many people are affected by this. We had some situations unfold yesterday in South County, but I know we also have another threat situation going on this morning at one of our other educational institutions. Police are on scene, and we will likely be having a report in reference to other threats being made here shortly. But we'll keep you apprised as that does become available. But we're going to be speaking with Bo and Eric this morning about a few different things, but you're going to be covering different things. Bo, you're going to be talking about the safety, safety aspect. And Eric, I know one of the popular things we've seen come about, this was surfacing again last night, involves attendance for those who are opting not to attend school, the parent or the child. In some instances, it's both. So we're going to be talking about both of
You
those.
want to talk about that first?
Yeah,
Sure, let's do that.
kick off with that.
Well, I think first off, we want to say we respect any family's decision to do what they feel is best for their children. We don't want to ever be somebody that's going to influence or try to tell someone how to make that decision. The state mandates the way that we can quote unquote excuse or waive absences, and unfortunately one of those that is not a waivable absence according to the state is fear of coming to school because of alleged threat. And that, from a technicality standpoint, is the way we have to operate, and that's, I think, why, whether it's Crane or District 1 or Yuma Union, we've all stated that similarly. That said, we instituted standards-based grading this year in our district, which allows for students a little bit more flexibility on how they demonstrate those standards. And in the past, I know that the absences could affect a person's grade in a way that's not the same with standards-based grading. So the students will have opportunity and ample opportunity to make up work to demonstrate their mastery of those standards and continue on track with the school, whether or not that absence is technically waived or excused. Obviously, there are other things that can be an excused absence, and we do take those on a case-by-case basis. I don't want to get into specific details about that, but if you had questions about that, we really encourage people to reach out to their campuses and discuss those specific incidents or specific cases that may lead to an absence being quote-unquote waived. But I just want to re-emphasize that worrying about whether it's waived or excused or whatever word we want to use is probably less critical than I think the quote-unquote old days, because of the institution of standards-based grading at our 7 campuses.
So you mentioned it's at a state level. It's not something that you guys control. And Mallory goes, well, how do we go about getting that changed or getting our voice heard about that?
Well, I think there's a couple of ways. I think speaking to state representatives, our local representatives or state representatives is one important way. And I think communicating that to the school board as well, of the districts that your child is in. You know, in our case, you could always come to a call to the public to discuss that, or you could even just send letters to the board. There's even a contact form on our website. If you go to contact us and just click that word, it'll take you to a form at the bottom. You'll see like the logos for the schools, and at the bottom of that, this contact us form. There's an option on there to just say that you wanted to reach out to the governing board. You can do that too.
One of the most common comments that we've seen across the board, not just on our feed right now, because that's there several times, people says it's a money thing, that you guys don't want to lose funding.
Well,
you lose funding every day anyways.
That's something that's going to happen regardless of absences on a day like today or a day 5 months from now. That's the reality of students coming to school or not. But at the same time, funding is important, and I don't want to make this about a money thing in any way, shape, or form, because it's about the safety and of the students and what the parents and families feel is best for their child. And like I said, we're not going to ever discourage that. But funding is critical for a public school that's already underfunded at the state and federal level for us to do any of the things, whether that's provide free lunches at all of our campuses, to provide Title I funding for our students, for any number of the programs that operate. The funding is critical, and that's just a reality of public education, but in no way is that something that we would hold over anyone's head as an influencer for coming to school or not.
The other question we're seeing is why not allow kids to do remote learning? They should have the option until they feel comfortable. If your kids are not going to school, we encourage them to get onto that's the cool thing. One of the cool things about them having their Chromebooks, they can literally make sure that they're staying on top of their work while they're not at school.
And we are a one-to-one district, meaning that our students all have a Chromebook that they take to and from school each day. We also have a mandate, and this is back since 2020 during the pandemic, that all of our classes have coursework and their day-to-day instruction on the Canvas learning management system. In fact,
That's what you're doing on Monday.
right, and that's what we had done at Monday with Cibola, and that's what we're doing Monday for the whole district. We have our professional development day.
And that day's already been planned.
That day has been planned,
People
yes.
don't think it plays into some other, scheme here.
That was planned in advance, when we created the calendar for 24-25 in the 23-24 school
Right.
year. So that, as far as Canvas goes, the students have access to that 24/7 at home. If they are making the choice to stay home, they are able to keep up on their work remotely through Canvas, because the work is going to be on there whether or not we are technically in remote learning across the district or not. They have the option to stay up to
Yeah.
speed on Canvas as well. And parents might not be aware of this, but they can actually become Canvas observers. They can't
Oh.
complete the work, but they can actually go on Canvas themselves to
Watch
see what's on there and what's
what they're
going on, and check out the assignments and that kind of stuff.
I think that's a fantastic element. Now, there is going to be, it's a community town hall meeting that's taking place this afternoon between 5 and 6 p.m. It's going to be at City Hall at One City Plaza. Okay, the capacity is limited to 250 people. And we're pretty sure that it's gonna, likely have a line out there, but there are other ways that people can watch and follow along. You can submit your questions ahead of time. I have that, and you know that email off the top of your head?
I don't.
Okay, it is schoolsafetyforum@yumaaz.gov. Submit any questions, thoughts, concerns via that email. This link has been shared by most of the schools in our community, as well as some of the law enforcement partners as well. At City Hall, you can also watch on Microsoft Teams. If you have cable, channel 73, and it will be on the city's website at yumaaz.gov as well. Again, capacity of 250, we're anticipating. We have so many children and families in our community, and obviously it's a safety issue concerning these kids.
Absolutely. It's community-wide, right?
It
It's
is.
impacted elementary, middle school, high schools, county-wide. Schools in Yuma, schools in Somerton and San Luis. So this is absolutely a community event. I will be there this evening along with our superintendent to hopefully answer some questions and provide answers to our community.
And again, we're visiting with the Yuma Union High School District. This is the high school district. They do all have their Chromebooks. If you're in another district, if you're in Crane or District 1, it's different. They don't get to take their things home. So we understand the situations are different when it comes to being able to do work. But again, we're speaking with the Yuma Union High School District. Now, the biggest question, Bo, and this is going right to you.
Let's go.
What are we doing to be proactive to keep our students and our teachers safe?
Absolutely. So a number of things. But before I answer that, I just wanted to kind of preface my discussion with I speak to you as not only the Director of Health and Safety for the high school district, but also as a parent, the father of I've got 3 children that are in our public school system, 2 of which are in elementary school, 1 of which is in high school. And so I am hopeful that I might be able to perhaps share some information on this show for parents, because I can understand and appreciate the anxiety that folks are experiencing. I can tell you that in a 20-year law enforcement career prior to coming on with the district, I do not recall ever having a massive influx of threats like we are experiencing right now as a community.
And this is a brand new position this year.
It is. And so that speaks to this overall comprehensive safety program that the Yuma Union High School District has in place. In addition to the safety measures that we will discuss here in a moment, it's also the resources, the personnel. My position, for example, provides oversight, provides someone who can liaison with our law enforcement partners. One critical element in the midst of all of this is that the tremendous amount of communication and contact and behind the scenes work that goes on. I have our school resource officers on speed dial. Early morning discussions with our law enforcement partners countywide, late night discussions, and all throughout the day, so that we are well informed, we are well versed, and that information can then be disseminated out to our superintendent, to the site administrators, to our principals, and to folks that provide for safety and security all throughout the district.
And again, you cover all of the district schools.
Absolutely.
You're involved with them.
So all 7 campuses from Yuma to Somerton and San Luis.
And we have a few questions that came in on one of our posts last night, mentioning
Absolutely.
that you would be here, Bo. And For COPA specifically, what plans exist to deter potential threats from entering the campus from surrounding areas? Because they say, unlike all other schools in Yuma, it's an open campus.
Sure. So the campus itself is an open campus concept. However, keep in mind that there is perimeter fencing at COFA as well as all schools. Now, COFA is situated in a in an area where you have two major thoroughways, right? So you've got Avenue A, and then you've got 32nd Street. There is perimeter fencing there. We do have access control measures in place, so students, staff, parents, as they're coming in, dropping off, there is one way in, one way out. We have security folks that are checking IDs as folks come in and checking as they come out. Now, again, the campus in and of itself is an open concept. We talk about COFA is a beautiful campus, right? I'm a graduate of COFA, and so we recognize that COFA presents a particular set of, I don't want to call barriers, but we do recognize that because you have that open concept, but that's why our school resource officer, that's why our safety folks, our security guards, especially now, are acting at a heightened state of alert. They are aware. They're practicing situational awareness. We have radios, right? So our school staff, our administration, our campus security folks have direct radio contact with our SRO. So that in the event, let's say, for example, someone comes in through that access control point, but maybe might not make it to the front office and goes on to campus, we are made aware, we can communicate and immediately respond. One other safety measure we have in place at COFA and all other schools, we have a very robust camera system that provides eyes on all throughout campus, so that in the event we needed to look at a particular area or perhaps put eyes on a specific area, we can do that with our camera systems. But I'd like to hopefully answer that question, but what I'd like to is really start off with discussing what a comprehensive school safety program looks like. And every program must start off by having a plan in place, and we do, through what we call our emergency operation plans, or our EOPs. EOPs are mandated by law. Every campus must have emergency operation plans in place. Emergency operation plans are provided to us by the Arizona Department of Education with guidance from the Arizona Department of Emergency Management and Affairs. Think of an EOP as a guide that provides direction, guidance in the midst of a critical incident. So it establishes command and control. We follow the incident or command system, or ICS. So in the event of a critical incident, we know who is in control and how communication is taking place. We take that a step further in that our EOPs provide guidance and direction on what to do, what staff, students can do or should do in the event of a lockdown, what to do in the event of a shelter in place and an evacuation. Now, recently, parents received a video that we did in collaboration with our local law enforcement partners, Somerton, San Luis, and the Yuma Police Department, that was sent out to parents that discussed what to do in a lockdown situation. That went out to provide, again, guidance and direction for students. So those plans do include provisions and elements of what to do in those critical situations. And then further, it speaks of we call them threat annexes, which then go to the specific threats that could occur on a campus. I think one right now that is on everybody's mind is that of an active aggressor on campus. So our threat annexes establish who does what, when, where, and why, and how we mitigate, respond to various threats. Everything from active assailants on campus to a fire on campus, or perhaps, for example, you have a wild animal that comes onto campus and we've got students and have to mitigate and respond to that type of incident. So plans are in place to address a varying variants of incidents that could occur.
And we have a lot of terminology that's really surfaced the last several years. Shelter in place, soft lockdown.
Correct.
What's
We
the difference?
subscribe to a rule of three. So we have what our first is a lockdown. A lockdown is where students and staff are absolutely locking out. They are locking down. They are making themselves invisible. That is where students perhaps are going into a classroom. The doors are being locked. They're getting to a hard corner. Lights are being shut out, and they're making themselves invisible so that they are not out in the open, right? Lockdown is reserved for our most critical situations where there is a direct, immediate, right here, right now threat, okay? Secondary to that is a shelter in place whereby we recognize that we need to be on a heightened state of alert. Perhaps there is something going on in close proximity to a school that requires us to remain indoors. Not necessarily a lockdown where we're making ourselves invisible and shutting off lights, but rather we are aware that something exists exterior that keeps us safe interior, right? And then finally, evacuation, and that's reserved, for example, a fire, right? If there was a fire and we were to have to evacuate off campus. And then finally, there is a reunification process, right? So every campus will have primary and secondary reunification locations in the event students will have to go off-site and then be picked up by their parents.
And that happened yesterday in a South County district. It
Absolutely.
wasn't the Yuma Union High School
Correct.
district. There, again, there was a situation affecting different schools over there.
Yes.
And as a result, we do have some schools that opted to close today and tomorrow. Some South County schools, and also one of the Harvest Preparatory Academy. They have a location in San Luis too. And their different pages have details about that. We're going to take a quick break because, again, we have more questions. You have more information to share, but we will be back with more of Today in Yuma after this with our guests Eric Patton and Bo Gonzalez on Today in Yuma. The show is brought to you by Quick Refrigeration, where tomorrow is
Free Filter Friday.
You need to change those filters on a regular basis, and they can help you out. Take the dimensions down to 190 West 10th Street, and they will give you a brand new standard 1-inch air filter for free tomorrow at Quick Refrigeration.
And the Broken Yoke Cafe, they are open Monday through Friday, 7 to 2, with happy hour from noon to 2. Saturday and Sunday, they're open until 3. Don't forget, Pumpkin has hit the Broken Yoke. They have pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin spice pancakes, and don't forget about that pumpkin spice espresso martini at the Broken Yoke Cafe.
And Yuma Nelson is a locally owned company within a national organization offering not only the pricing and selection of a large supplier, but also the local decision-making and flexibility of a small business. You can find them on Pacific Avenue. They're right across from Yuma Palms.
And Neverlow Smoke and Vape Lounge at 2760 South 4th Avenue. They are Yuma's best vape lounge because they carry vaping products and accessories that you cannot find anywhere else. Plus, they have a wide variety of cigars, exotic drinks and snacks, and more, all at Neverlow Smoke and Vape Lounge.
And the American Eagle of Arizona team is eager to serve the community. If you have any remodeling needs or maybe water damage repair, don't hesitate to give them a call. Let them make your home the best it can be at 928-726-1617. We'll be back after the break on Z93 and Outlaw Country.
I'll do Ed Whitehead's tire post next because I switched them back.
Okay. Lots of questions. They're wanting to know if kids are being taught about like the safety precautions and stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk about drills.
And yeah, and then the other thing too, I think is important for the kids and for the families too, because you have that platform where you can report anonymously.
Yeah, we'll talk
I think
about
that's
Blake, we
important.
have them here for 2 segments, so we opted to bring them earlier. There's still things we need to do.
And a
Sorry.
lot of the questions we're getting on the Facebook Live is not related to the district. You guys are, they forget it's a different district. Yeah. So a lot of it has to do with Crane or District 1, and it's like we can't do much.
Yeah, we don't want to speak for that.
Yeah.
Yes, there's different districts out there, and again, there are a lot of collaborations being done
Absolutely.
between them.
Absolutely.
We do need to mention, if we can, about just, again, more important than ever, to make sure your information is updated.
We've seen that. We've been reminding people too. Okay.
I did meet with a parent who didn't receive one of the messages about a school being open.
Okay. Oh, they weren't aware.
We checked and just making sure that you have the correct phone number in there, and I would verify that for that parent to make sure.
Okay.
So it's just
And the
more than ever, it's really important.
comments are moving very quick. There was a question here. Oh, they asked if we were going to have District 1 on. We happen to have the school district scheduled today already. We book them generally 6 months at a time. So the timing
Oh, wow.
just kind of lined up
Perfect.
for this. And I'll reach out to Christine McCoy with District 1, also Rosie Penny with Crane, get them in, and also our friends within the different districts in South County too. Again, they're all really busy right now.
Yeah.
And they understand, it's worth having these conversations.
We are busy, however, you're right. This
Exactly.
is critical right now.
But
This is community-wide.
Today, 5 p.m., I encourage people, go ask these questions because they're 100 different people are watching right now, and the comments are scrolling so fast.
So one thing to keep in mind tonight is that there's going to be 15 education and law enforcement partners all on the dais. However, we want to avoid questions about specific schools. So if somebody's reaching out, for example, that question about COFA today was great for us to answer here, but tonight, if somebody has a question about a specific school, they're not going to read those tonight. It's going to be
They're general.
Yeah, just general things about safety. There's a lot of things that obviously can be answered, but if there's stuff about a specific school, we're going to ask that they contact the district office.
Are you continuing to see this trend nationwide?
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to discuss that if we have time, but yes, this is not exclusive to Yuma County.
People from here that have moved elsewhere, they follow along and they're seeing the images that have been posted, and they're sending us the very similar things. The fonts are different, the placement of community names.
That is exactly it. Yeah, nationally.
All right, here we go. Maybe 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
Welcome back to Today in Yuma. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Teresa.
Still with us from the Yuma Union High School District, we have Bo Gonzalez and Eric Patton, and we were discussing briefly during the break. Again, we need to take the breaks. Is this something exclusive to the Yuma community, or is it being a nationwide thing?
Not all. We were seeing this as a nationwide trend. In fact, the discussion I had with law enforcement last night was that yes, they are seeing that as well. I spoke to Mr. Patton just over the weekend. A quick Google search revealed just a number of very similar situations that we're experiencing in terms of receiving this overwhelming amount of threats. The Sacramento area, for example, the school district there, a number of schools closed down as a result of threats that were received. Law enforcement investigated and found out that threat stemmed from somewhere back east. But very similar to what we're seeing is where the text on that threat had been changed a number of times to include schools within that local jurisdiction, which resulted in the closure of those schools. Very similar to what we are experiencing here with just this massive influx of threats that we are receiving all over the place.
Now, this is definitely, like we said, it's not centralized to one school district or another. It is a community problem.
Absolutely.
So I want to bring it up because I think it's important not only for the families, because we do drop-offs, we are in the neighborhoods all the time, and our kiddos that are actually in the school system, if they see something, we want to be able to report that ASAP, and you guys have a really cool system of doing that.
Absolutely, we do. So part of our safety and technology platform includes the anonymous alerts reporting system, which we've spoken about before, and I'm happy to say that at least in the midst of this situation, it's being used.
All right, but it's monitored during which hours?
It is, so it goes during school hours. We get alerts all throughout. We're just not able to respond because we don't have 24/7 capabilities.
Yeah, it's 6 to 6. So if you do an after hours response on there or alert, we won't see that. You'll get something that says, this is not active right now, call 911 if this is an emergency. Yes. And that's for liability reasons, because we would just we can't have a person report something, especially if it's like a self-harm incident in the middle of the evening when everyone is sleeping, say at 1 a.m, when they could have called 911, but they think they did the right thing by reporting it.
Is this an app, or how does it work?
So it's both. You have an app, right, but it can also be utilized on a desktop platform, and it provides for anonymous reporting, right? Any student, any staff, any concerned parent, any concerned community member.
Does it go to kind of like one central intake point, or is it school specific? So if I have a question about COFA, it's going to go to COFA personnel? So
it goes to COFA personnel, but some of the reports, some of the elements will then go to district staff, right? So I will receive certain reports to where if it's a right here, right now threat, right, we can get law enforcement involved. Some of them go to our administrators district level. And so I can tell you that it is being used, and we continue to promote that, right? If you see something, say something. We do receive those, and I can tell you that so many times, especially throughout this matter that we're dealing with, we are sharing that information with law enforcement. They are able to, in real time, or once we give it to them, provide that to law enforcement once we receive it. And it's been a tremendous help, right? Just having multiple ways for information to flow is super important. and that is just part of some of the technology that we have available at the high school district.
Some of the questions, again, that came in overnight, but also in the feed here, what about metal detectors? Parents would feel more comfortable with metal detectors and backpack searches.
Sure. So I will discuss quickly a gentleman from the Oklahoma City School District who had my position. I was at a national conference. He said this. He said, school metal detectors can be beat. The most important element to a school safety program is that of trust. And he went on to talk to us about a situation where metal detectors were circumvented. The camera systems were circumvented, and a young person was able to get a firearm on campus. And he said it was the trust that that student had in the school resource officer, whereby she went to him and said, hey, I'm aware that somebody's got a gun. They were able to respond to that situation. We have looked into metal detectors. Metal detectors, there's a cost associated, but more importantly is it would require a tremendous amount of human resources to manage and to run a threat detection system. And finally, as you can imagine, some campuses have 2,000 students. Imagine having to start school at 5 a.m. to get everyone through. We have considered those safety measures, but we've looked at other elements, such as our camera systems, such as the training that's afforded to our campus security, knowing that we have school resource officers from the Yuma Police Department, the Somerton Police Department, and San Luis Police Department on campus full time. And these are folks that are highly trained and skilled. In fact, I know our YPD partners just this week were participating in active assailant type training. They're tactically trained, they're tactically medically trained, and they perform a tremendous service to our students in keeping our campuses safe. And we have those at the Yuma Union High School District on every single campus.
Mallory says, what about parents volunteering to help watch students during the school day?
So I am aware that historically COFA had a group. I would say perhaps reach out to your campus, your particular campus, and see through administration if that would be something. Parents on Patrol, I believe, is what that was referred to years ago.
The National Guard was another suggestion.
Yeah, the National Guard.
You know,
No, those are all great suggestions. I can tell you that my job is to work with and manage those groups. Again, we have SROs, we have campus securities.
And you guys are doing, I mean, you coming from a parent, like I said, my son goes to the Union High School District. I drop off, I pick up. You guys, I mean, you guys were visible before, but we have seen the step up. It is
heightened awareness.
Definitely.
And the concept is practicing situational awareness. I tell my security folks, head on a swivel. Head on a swivel.
That's what I tell my son. When I dropped him off, I said, you need to be very aware of your surroundings.
Absolutely.
If you see something, say something.
Absolutely.
Let somebody know. And as parents, I do the same thing. We know the routines. I see the same kids being picked up by the same vehicles every day.
Yes.
When you see something out of the ordinary and this doesn't seem right to you, there's no harm in calling and saying, hey.
Absolutely. And one final piece I wanted to share is that although we are focused on the physical safety and security, I think we need to recognize that there's also an element of mental health and anxiety. So I am super proud that we have social workers who are trained in trauma-informed care, who are trained in adverse childhood experiences, who are there on campus that can provide services to those youth that come to school that are perhaps anxious or maybe scared, right? And I have rallied our social workers, and they are on the front lines just as our security folks are, just as
They're
our
vital.
SROs. They are aware and actively checking for students that need that additional support so that they can provide that to hopefully reduce some of that stress and anxiety that they're
All right.
experiencing.
Is there still going to be homecoming
Yes.
on Friday?
It's a
That
big
just
celebration at Yuma
just
High.
popped up in the thread.
Yeah. So as of this morning, I am still prepared to be
Okay.
at the Yuma Kofa game on Friday night. In fact, I'll be there at the football
Cheering
game,
for
cheering
Kofa.
on Kofa.
Yes.
Although I do hope that Yuma, it's a good game, right? Because I
It
now
is.
represent the district. So let's go Yuma, let's go
It'll
Kofa.
be a good game. But another question, several people, is the Yuma Union High School District planning to have classes today and tomorrow? They already
We are.
Yes.
We are in class.
They are
correct.
being held. And they have a student that goes to, was it Gila Vista? Or is it Vista?
Gila Ridge.
Oh, no, well, I saw that in there too. They're flying by. SROs at all the high schools.
Yes.
Or I know some of them are shared between our elementary schools.
Not our
Okay.
officers.
High schools have dedicated
Correct.
SROs.
Dedicated SROs at the Yuma Union High School District, and I can tell you that several campuses today and in the recent past have had additional support from additional officers present. Cibola High School, for example, I would tell you that on Tuesday was the most safest place in all of Yuma because we had an entire contingent of Yuma Police Department there. Somerton, for example, just talked to the SRO. He's got an additional officer. So we are aware and we have additional assets available, and we are operating under a heightened sense of awareness.
She said it was Vista. Vista does have an SRO?
So Vista has Officer Waymeyer, who is at COFA, and he operates between the two in very close proximity of those campuses. He can be there in less than a minute.
Okay.
Thank you guys for what you do.
5 o'clock today. Please send those questions in, and I'll share the link again a little bit later too, but it is on that flyer that I shared and the schools have shared as well. A lot of information. You know, what you do is not easy, and these times, if you see something, say something. Absolutely. People, share those images. Each of you and all the departments would rather get it 1,000 times than not at all.
Yes, ma'am.
And everything is being investigated.
Share it with the responsible adults, with the law enforcement, through anonymous alerts. Please don't just start spreading things on social media. That's one of the things that
it makes it harder for the law
combat,
enforcement.
For us getting the separation between what's true, what's a rumor, and what's completely made up. So sharing that with the responsible parties is the most important.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Scott Little talking about the Fostering Hope Conference on Today in Yuma. The show is brought to you by Pima Federal Credit Union. They're a trusted financial provider in the state. They've been here since 1951, and they're in the Yuma community now. Get to know about their services at pimafederal.org.
And Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Check out edwhiteheadstirepros.com to shop for tires, view their services, or schedule an appointment, all from the ease of your phone or computer. That's edwhiteheadstirepros.com.
And with Allo, you can make your home the ultimate hangout spot. Connect to faster, friendlier, cutting-edge technology there in our courtyard right now.
Yes.
It's getting closer. To find out more, visit allofiber.com.
And the Yuma Mesa Shopping Center. Your store is located in the heart of Yuma at 16th Street and 4th Avenue. Everything you could possibly need in one stop. They have Big Lots, Kelly Pro Nails, the Del Sol Market with the Yummy Restaurant inside, and more, all in the heart of Yuma.
And at Astrion, we're always moving, always innovating, and always looking ahead. Our advanced test and evaluation capabilities deliver results with impact, ensuring soldiers have overmatch on tomorrow's battlefield. To learn more, visit us at astrion.us/Yuma. We'll be back after the break on Z93 and Outlaw Country.
Put that camera over here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you giving us a platform to speak.
A messenger platform, and it when it pops up, it stops the feed. That's what I was doing the other day.
Oh, gotcha.
It wants to update like a faster messenger or something. I'm like, no, we're busy. We don't need messenger.
I deleted Messenger from that phone because
And that might be why, yeah.
Can I make this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good right there. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was doing last week. And I was like, stop it, go away. It might do it one more time, but. Good morning.
Good morning.
Busy morning.
Yes, it is. A lot going on with the schools.
Yes, lots.
We were trying to arrange for different people to come and help, but they're all involved in schools or things like that, and so they're like, I can't make it because I'm tied up with all of this stuff. So it's like, I get it. My wife's a teacher. She's in the middle of it as well.
Yeah.
That's why we say it's a whole community thing. It's not just.
I'm waiting on additional information in reference to Centennial. Students had been sharing information that they got already today, and we're sharing them with some other schools and other people. I do know that Yuma Police are working in close collaboration, I believe, with the principal at Centennial right now. So we'll have more information come out of that very soon. I have not seen the image of that purported threat, but again, a lot of them are being cloned and they're changing up the look. So send them to the different agencies. So
I think someone's cloned Janice's account.
oh no, on social media?
My Facebook got hacked two weeks ago, and they actually shut my Facebook down and then totally dropped Fostering Hope.
Oh no.
And so we haven't been able to recover it.
It's hard. I had a friend, I think she lost hers. Some people just can't get him back at all, so they create an entirely separate account.
Well, and that's what we had to do.
Yes.
Was restart a whole new.
Eric's here too.
Oh, good, okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Welcome back to Today in Yuma. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Teresa.
We have Scott Little joining us this morning to talk about the Fostering Hope Conference. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, this has been, again, a long time in the coming. We've been talking about it for a while, but we want to have you share some information, Scott, with the community because we need people to get involved.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this year's conference. I would have to start off with just saying that we have a team of people that are engaged as far as the churches and the foster care agencies. We've got the court system involved. We've got the education system involved. All of these people are on our team for this specific conference. And so Fostering Hope Yuma 2024 is going to be Saturday, September 28th from 8 to 4 at the Yuma Civic Center. And cost is $5 and that includes lunch.
Where can you get lunch for $5?
Nowhere.
That's a good deal.
But not only do you get lunch, you get amazing speakers. In fact, our keynote speaker is Darcy Olson. And Darcy Olson is the founder of the Center for the Rights of Abused Children. And she was just honored for the Humanitarian Award just this last weekend for her work in legislative issues dealing with foster care and abused children. So we're very excited to have her as our keynote speaker and looking forward to what she has to say, along with all of our other speakers that are coming.
This is open to anyone in the community.
This is open up to anyone in the community. It was originally established for two purposes. The first purpose was to support those who are already doing foster care. Sometimes that feels like you're in that area alone by yourself. And we want to let those foster care parents, those kinship parents know you're not by yourself. We've got people that want to support you through different agencies, exhibitors, that kind of thing. And then there's the other part of it that says, how do I be a part of it? Even if I don't want to be a foster care parent, how can I come alongside foster care parents and help in their lives to give them the support they need?
And it's I think it's going to be very, very informational. It's from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., so it's an all-day thing.
It's an all-day thing.
But again, it's going to be full of great information. So you're going to hear it from people that have been doing it for years.
Absolutely.
How do I fit it in my budget? How do I fit it into my busy schedule already? How does this work? So there's going to be people there that can answer all those questions for you.
Well, and what do I do with a child that is in foster care and has to deal with trauma care? We've got our own Tori Bourgeon from I don't even know if I pronounced her last name correctly or not.
From Amberley's Place.
From Amberley's Place. And she's going to be talking about trauma care. What does that look like? What does that feel like? I had a conversation the other day because I'm a pastor. I was saying, foster care is the true picture of unconditional love. Because when this child doesn't connect, when this child is acting out, when this child is trying to protect its environment, your job is really just to keep loving them. Even though may not get a lot of love back, your job is just to keep loving them. And so important to what we do in our foster care systems.
And it's going to be enlightening for individuals who haven't really experienced or walked in the shoes of a foster parent or a foster family member.
Exactly.
So it's a wonderful education because it might open your eyes and help some people in our community understand they would make amazing foster parents.
Exactly. And there's lots of parents out there go that I love kids. I just don't know if I could love somebody else's kids. Well, come and find out. See if this is something that you might, this might be something exactly what you need to engage in.
We have so many children in foster care in Yuma who don't have foster families. We need people, if you have the wherewithal to step up and do it, we really need people to make this choice. And CASA of Yuma County is a phenomenal organization. We encourage you to go to some of their meetings and find out more about what it takes. But again, the Fostering Hope Conference is going to be a great opportunity to learn as well.
Well, and we have members of CASA on our team, on the team, and they will also be at the conference to talk about what is our role in this. How do we become
Exactly. Like you mentioned, maybe they. Okay, the commitment of foster care, but there is other ways they can help, and CASA is one of those.
CASA is one of those. And CASA is basically being a representative for the child as they go through the system. Not they don't represent the birth parents, they don't represent the foster care parents, they represent the child.
And a lot of times they're the only constant.
Exactly. And that's really where I would like to get to. Our foster care numbers are going down a little bit, but it's because we're putting them into more foster care group homes than we are in loving families. And I'd love to turn that around and say, let's get them into a stable family environment where they are being loved, they are being nurtured, they're being encouraged, and they can grow up knowing somebody loves them.
And Pastor, this is the second year that this conference has been held.
This is the second year. It was funny because I went back to my team last year, and as usual, I go to them and say, "Do we do it again?" And it was an overwhelmingly, "Yes, we're doing it again."
Yes, we do this again.
And I guess one of my stories that I share is after last year's conference, a woman came up and said, "We just moved to Yuma." Several months ago, been looking for resources. How do we do foster care in this city? Because we already have foster kids. And she said, we saw a flyer for the event, came and gave us everything exactly what we needed.
Oh, perfect.
Wow.
The opposite side of that is we ran into a woman who was helping with a part of the conference, and she said, I used to be a foster care mom. If we would have had this 7 years ago, I still would be a foster care mom. Because they do feel out there alone, and I don't want them to feel out there alone. I want them to know that what they do is honorable, and we want to support it.
Fantastic. Well, again, this is 28th at the Civic Center, and we'll share the flyer again. It does have a QR code.
It does have a QR code, yes.
If someone needs to sign up the day of, is that possible? Can they do it
Yes,
at the door?
they can come in. We are doing child care for those who are foster care parents or kinship parents, but that's limited space. So if you're thinking that you need that, register. Yeah. And when I refer to kinship, some people go, "What is a kinship parent?" Well, if say example, one of my children is involved in something that they have to take the children out of their home, the first response is to give it to a family member, grandparents, siblings, that kind of thing. That's a kinship placement. Those kinship placements don't have the same resources or don't always have the same resources as, say, a licensed foster care. We want them to be supported too, because
and that support is growing. You know, they're making headway in that respect
they
too.
are.
But again, if they had the similar resources like you mentioned, it would be a lot different.
Well, and a lot of those go, "What do I do? How do I do this? What is, and it's like, come and talk to our exhibitors, listen to the speakers. They're going to give you information that's going to help you with your brother, your sister, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, whatever you're dealing with in your own home.
Great. Well, again, this is 28th of September.
28th of September from 8 to 4. Come and register online at fosteringhopeYuma.com or come and sign up that day. We like having early registrations because...
Especially because you're doing lunch.
It could be because we're doing lunch. Yeah, we got to know how much food to have.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
We are going to take our Village and Pizza Parlor selfie here in just a minute. We'll be back with Eric Wofford from the fair after this on Today in Yuma. The show is brought to you by FanQuest Comics and Games, Yuma's premier comic and game store. They've been locally owned for over 34 years and have great stuff. That also includes sanctioned and unsanctioned events. Visit their Facebook group for details. It's under FanQuest Comics and Games.
And the West McDowell Agency. The truth is, every parent starter pack should include getting life insurance. If you're still shopping around, the West McDowell Agency can help you get the coverage you need to safeguard your children's financial futures. Reach out today for a free no obligation quote at 928-305-1607.
And Sprague Sports carries a large selection of name brand quality knives to suit your needs. Stop by and speak with their experts to find out the size, style, and action that make the cut for your perfect go-to tool. Sprague Sports on 32nd Street next to Lowe's.
And Brewers Restaurant and Sports Bar has a private party room that can fit up to 50 people. It's time for football. Reserve that party room ahead of time. Brewers is a family-friendly sports bar.
It is Today in Yuma. We'll be back after the break on Z93 and Outlaw Country. Awesome. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
It is our pleasure.
Move this out of the way.
You two are very good at what you do.
Thank you. We try.
Oh, we're going inside this
Yes,
time.
we're
I'm so
staying
used to
inside.
outside.
Let's see how it goes.
Followed by us.
This
I
one's
like
good.
it.
1, 2, 3.
Come try Yuma's best breakfast.
The lighting's better from that angle.
Right now it
We're
is.
trying to figure out because it changes so much. Well, thank you so much,
Thank you.
Pastor.
And thank you for the goodies. Yes.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Hello. How you doing?
Good. How are
Good
you?
to see you.
Good to see you too. What are you guys up to? I know.
We're just a little busy today, that's all.
A little? Causing trouble? No, not you guys. That was interesting listening on the way in.
Yeah.
So you brought me in to kind of lighten
Yes,
the mood a little.
yes.
You're the palate cleanser.
There we go. I don't think I need that yet.
Don't forget you're on Facebook.
Oh, hi Facebook. No, that was a lot of great information listening to you guys.
We
on
tried.
the way in.
We
The
could have them
feed was
here.
moving so fast because there's so many questions, but I'm like, hang on.
Well,
We could have them here a whole show. It just happened to be that they were scheduled for today. And it's like perfect timing.
The same with YPD. We had them on Friday, and Chief Garrity was here,
Mhm.
and we had him on for 2 segments, like we did for the district too, and so many questions. And it's like, I'm glad they're at least having that event later this afternoon.
oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see
How everything
questions.
goes. Yeah. Well, and the feedback that comes from it, right?
Yes,
So,
that's what's important.
yeah. So that but oof,
So yes, you're gonna lighten the mood today.
I'm gonna
We're
try.
gonna
I
have
don't know.
some fun.
Pastor did a great job.
He
I think that's a
did, he
great.
did.
That's a great, great event to have.
Yep.
So, you're
Our,
always,
our fosters in our community are amazing.
yeah.
Several of them, I have several friends that do it. They're all wonderful people. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes someone special to do that.
It really does. I know someone in particular that has to do that. Has been doing it for quite a long time, and she's amazing.
Yep.
She's been doing it for a long time.
All right, we got about 20 seconds.
All right. You guys been good though? Other than that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
Staying
Same
busy.
here. Well, we're gearing up.
Ready for some good music at the fair.
I know, right? It's pretty awesome. I'm excited.
Mallory, I think they're going to have their own going. I'll probably share some of the others.
Yeah, they have a link. It was posted on one of the feeds. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I think they're doing it to yumaaz.gov, but I'll share the different links too.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Today in Yuma. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Teresa.
A little more positivity this morning. We have Eric Wofford joining us from the Yuma County Fair. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Well, it's Fall Fest time.
It is Fall Fest time. We're what are we, 27 days away or
Oh
something
my
like
goodness.
Well, we're a few days from the official start of fall, which is on Sunday.
Oh,
so
that's heck.
it is time.
Well, it's feeling like fall out
It- it's
there.
beautiful.
It is.
Until next week, right? I hear it goes back to, 100 or something?
I'll take the. It's not 110.
Exactly. I'll take it too.
Mallory says we're going to need you to say, yes, it is Lips of an Angel Hinder.
Yes, it is Lips of an Angel Hinder.
They don't trust me. I'm trying to say if it was attributed, it would have been like hindered or something
Yeah,
like
it'd
that.
have been definitely not Hinder. It
Yeah.
would have been Beyond Hinder or something like that.
The legit Hinder is coming to the Yuma County Fairgrounds.
Yes, we're so excited about it. We've actually got them Friday night. Starts at 8.
Not tomorrow, Friday night.
Not
by
tomorrow.
The way.
Yeah, Friday the 18th.
So
or
when-
October 18th.
When does the Fall Fest start?
The Fall Fest starts the 17th and runs through the 19th. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The 17th
Of October.
of October. Yeah.
And it's not the full week long spring fair that we have here, but it's got a lot of awesome elements and some new ones this year.
Yeah. So we still have the cinnamon rolls. So I figured I'd just check
Oh,
that off,
okay.
off the top. You know, they'll be back.
Well,
Jeff and his crew and his delicious cinnamon rolls will be there. But we're starting it off with a bang with the Demolition Derby on Thursday, and then on the main stage we'll have a local band, Age of Rock.
Rock of Ages?
Rock of Ages, sorry.
There you go. They're
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. And then Friday is obviously Hinder on our main stage. But we'll have we have some grounds entertainment that is going to be out there walking around. We'll have.
They are fun.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun.
And then what's awesome is 4-H is actually helping us out this, for the Fall Fest too, doing a make and take on Friday, and then they're
Yeah.
also doing on Sunday. They're doing a pumpkin carving for us.
How
so,
fun!
We have it's not a corn maze, it's a hay maze, because trying to.
It's Yuma.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out how I'd have to plant that a
And
long
there-
time ago.
And there is other events that go on at the Yuma County Fairgrounds.
yeah, that would take up a lot. So we're doing a hay maze for the kids, and a pumpkin carving, and all that good stuff throughout the week. And then obviously Saturday we've got a paint and take in the Fine Arts Building that the Mountain Shadows are going to do for us.
Cool.
So yeah, amazing stuff.
And your entry ticket, your admission ticket to the fair gets you into these shows. It's not a separate ticket to see Hinder. You're
Nope.
just there already.
Gate admission is what gets you in to see Hinder.
I think one of Foodylicious kids was like, well, how much is the extra for that ticket? She goes, it's not. They're like, what?
Yeah,
$7 to get in?
yeah, cheapest Hinder ticket you probably ever hear of.
And we're going to have you on as we get closer to the event as well, Eric. We're going to be doing another big fun giveaway here soon. But let's talk. I've seen this addressed on the fair social media pages. Let's talk about the ride bracelets.
Yes, the pre-sale ride bracelets, they're on sale now. You can go to I believe we have it up on there's a link up on our website, yumafair.com. Click on the link. There is the disclaimer about the Medusa, like we had last year. So the Medusa does take extra tickets, but everything else is with the right.
That didn't deter anybody. That line was long.
Yeah. Well, and you got to think about it too. I believe that it seats only 8 people. if you think about
okay.
it. So that's that's kind of why the line's a little
Yeah,
bit longer,
yeah.
because they got to rotate them around and get everybody in.
And you guys were learning too. Again, it was a new vendor for.
Yeah, it was new for us. Hellman Sons was a new carnival operator for us this year, or for the spring fair last year. So it was we had some learning curves, and we pivoted and made it, and we went from there. So everything went relatively smooth, and we're expecting to do the same for the Fall Fest.
Well, save some money. Get those pre-sale ride bracelets. Again, $35 until when?
Actually, it's up until the right before the day we open.
Okay.
So there's basically, it's not like before where we only had certain amount of booklets. This is all the way up until the day before we open.
And they're good for one day.
Yeah, whatever day you decide to come and go to the fair. So in other words, you buy, that way they're not, you don't have to worry about trying to click, I'm just going to go, Saturday, then there's the Saturday button. It's just you pick whatever you want, and then you can go for whatever day, and they're good for the one day.
And you buy them online, and you get there, and you do what when you get there?
So you buy them online, you'll get an email with either a QR code, or keep your email, and then you go to the different kiosks that are right before you get into the carnival area, scan the kiosk, and then your bracelets will come out. And
perfect.
They have a bunch of ambassadors. If you have any questions or something's not working quite right, go to one of the ambassadors, and they will be more than happy to help you get your wristbands. So admissions, online admissions will go on sale as well, but that'll be Monday. So it'll be next week.
And there's a different level for wristbands too. What's that one called?
So you have just, I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head. So you have just the premium one, or the original one, and then you have the upgraded one. And
Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
Yeah,
I was
sorry, I'm
looking
drawing
at,
a break.
I was talking about this earlier with someone, so I was already
While
looking
she's
at
pulling it up.
Oh, the WOW Fast Pass.
Oh yeah, so that's that should have just that's why I was drawing a
Wow.
blank. So yeah, exactly. Wow. So the WOW actually, so you have the original wristband that you can get, and then you can upgrade to the WOW. That's to get you into the Fast Pass, so that
The
you can
front of the line upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Okay.
So
And those are $55 pre-sale.
mhm,
Otherwise, they go to $85 the day the carnival opens to the public.
exactly. So get your pre-sale.
You
And
meant-
then- go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just to say we have our link up on our website, so make sure you guys have a chance to
Perfect.
check
I'll
that
share
out.
that again on my page right now too.
And one more thing about when you because we get these questions too. When you're checking out, make sure your information is exactly what's on the card is what you put on is what you're filling out in the checkout cart. Because if you miss it, if you put RD instead of road or however it's printed, then it will not allow you to get your tickets. It has to be exactly what is printed on what is on your card.
That's important.
Yes.
And again, not your rule.
Yeah, no, definitely not my rule.
Well, you mentioned cinnamon rolls.
Yep.
Beer garden going to be there?
Absolutely.
What about our local nonprofit groups?
Yes.
It's okay.
I'm moving. It's today in Yuma, people. Sorry. Yeah, the Rotary, Elks, JCs, they will be there as well. And then we have, we change up a little bit of the food. We're going to have some local food as well inside the food court area that are obviously not in the buildings, but we'll have some different food outside as well too. So.
All right.
Sounds
Well,
good.
the Fall Fest coming up again October 17th through the 19th at the Yuma County Fairgrounds.
Exactly. Admission is $7 for 13 and up. Youth 6 through 12 is $5, and 5 and under is free.
All right.
So-
Sounds good.
Some great fall fun.
Yep, exactly.
All
Come
right.
on out. We got a heck of a lineup.
We'll see you soon. Before Eric leaves, we're going to take our Village and Pizza Partner selfie out in the courtyard.
No, we're not.
Inside our studio. Sorry. Have it. All right. Up next on Z93, it's Bob and Sherry, followed by 90s at noon with DJ Hector B. Please be nice, everyone. Be
Yes.
safe out there and enjoy this weather. And Outlaw Country, we have your favorite classic country music. KCYK Yuma and KLJZ Yuma.